Hi everyone, this second video, I'm going to wrap up a basic concepts of phonetics that were covered in week one, and also give you some brief tutorial on how to solve some problems in phonetics. I'll introduce a few key concepts that were outlined in the lecture. There were very important distinction between phonetics and phonology. Phonetics deals with properties of individual sound segments, let's say how like a d or r or k, like how those individual sound segments are articulated in our organ and also conveyed through the medium of air and then processed through our ear and then brain. That's a field called phonetics. And meanwhile, phonology is a domain in linguistics that deals with system of sounds and how systematically sounds are patterning together and how various alteration happening in those sounds, how a sound can change to another, how they can disappear or reappear in those words and sentences in language. So there are two different domains of linguistics, one phonetics and the other phonology. And phonetics also can be divided into three different levels. Acoustic phonetics, it's learning about the physical characteristics of sounds, how it's conveyed how it's delivered through the medium of air and those kind of things. And auditory phonetics, it's about how we listen, hear the speech sounds and comprehend it by processing the speech sound in our ear and then brain. And articulatory phonetics is about how our articulation in our organs, including our lung and larynx, pharynx, and then mouth and nose, are being conducted and making sound, making language, making speech sounds by our articulatory organs. And only a limited number of consonant and vowel sounds occur in human languages. It never exceeds like few thousands. It's always a few dozens. So English has 25 consonants and 15 vowels, but again, this number can also vary dialect by dialect. There are articulatory organs in human body. You learn in the week one. The air is coming out from the lungs. It goes out. It goes through larynx, pharynx, and comes out from our oral cavity. In other words, mouth, or it comes out from our nasal cavity. In other words, nose. And there is a vocal fold right in the middle of larynx. You can you can touch it, but it's in the midway of the larynx. It looks like two doors, which can be wide open and also closed, or that these two doors are close to each other. These two different states are called laryngeal states. When it's open, it's voiceless because there is no vibration happening when the air is going out through that gate. And voiced is a state when these two doors are closed together, and there exists a very strong vibration of these folds when air is coming out through that tunnel. There are, it said, 15 vowels in English, which is different dialect by dialect, but we're going to talk about standard form of English, which has 15. In week one, we did not discuss further about vowels, but we will definitely do in week two. These are a few examples of vowels in English. It's not all of them, because it's not 15. I think it's like 11. Like E in beat, E in bit, A in bait, A in bat, A in bat, A in butt, U in boot, U in book, O in boat, A in body, and A in body. So these are vowels. This is not an exhaustive list. There are a few more vowels like oi in boy, or I in buy, or in abbot. So there are a few more. We're going to talk about vowels, I think, in the next week, I guess. And there are consonants. There are different features each consonant can have. One of them is voice and voiceless. Voiceless consonants include p and paw, t and tall, k and call. Like here, p t. Um, it's spelled C. Later, you're gonna learn that it's in phonetic alphabet it's written as K. Th in face, th in thin, s in su, and sh in dasher. Later, you learn that this sound is written as this character, and sh is looks written as this character that looks like an integral sign from math. And su like s sound and sh and sh sound are two different sounds. They're both voiceless. And ch as in chug, h in hug, and this which is called glottal stop that happens between and o in the word and this one which like hua and which exists only in a few dialects of English, definitely not in Californian one. So these are the voiceless consonants of English, while there are other half voice consonant of them. B and ball, da and doll, g and gall, v in vase, the in then, z in zoo, j in azure. So again, these two z spelled the same way, but there are different sounds. Later, you'll learn that this sound will written with this character j in phonetic alphabet, and this one will be look like this. But you learn this later when you're learning when you learn phonetic alphabets. And j in jug, and in bam, ban, and bang, l in law, raw, like r in raw. Two different sounds. And ya in young, and wa in which. These are voiced and voiceless distinction that exist in the English language. And again, these sounds can be also divided into another category, which is place of articulation. So there are total 9, 8 plus 1 places of articulation that are happening in English language. First of all, bilabial. Labial means lips, so bilabial means using your two lips. Like P is a P sound in paw, B in ball. Labial dental is a sound that you make with the lip and your teeth, because dental means teeth. So labial dental is a sound like F in face, V in vase. Dental, it means you're using your teeth. Th. Your tongue comes out through your teeth. So th and the, they are both spelled the same, but they are two different sounds. You learn one is voiceless, the other is voiced. So the upper row is voiceless, the lower row is voiced. I didn't tell you that. Alveolar, you use your tip of your tongue, like t in tall, s in su. They have exactly same articulation places. You learn why they two sound different in week 2, but here we were learned that they both have same laryngeal states. They are voiceless, and they have same place of articulation, alveolar. Currently, we don't know why two of them are not the same consonants. But anyway, they don't sound the same. T is in tall, and sa in su, da in doll, and z in zoo. These two are voiced counterparts of t and sa. Post-alveolar, which is happening a little bit behind alveolar part, ch in chug, sh in dasher, and j in jug, j in azure. So j and j are two different sounds. Ch and sh are two different sounds. And this z sound in azure is you only happen in the word middle position. It does not happen in the onset of English word, except like one or like few words like genre. But it also vary by dialect. Some people pronounce it like genre. Some people pronounce it genre. So there are variation, but at least the standard way of pronouncing it is using the j pronunciation. So I'd say this z sound in azure or Asia or pleasure or usual, though that sounds is a voice post alveolar sound are different from j sound. Palatal, there is no voiceless palatal sound, but voice sound. There's young, ya in young. Velar, there are two sounds, k and call, g and gall. Sometimes it's spelled k, sometimes it's spelled c. G, this is a voice counterpart of it. And there are two different glottal sounds, h and hug, and o. These two sounds, they are both voiceless. There is no voice counterpart of glottal consonants in English. And there's a labial velar, which is a double co-articulation happening in your lips and velar position. There are two of them, which, and one of them is only exist in a few dialects of English. Okay, so let's solve some problems. These are the problems that I'm going to solve here in this tutorial video. This will help you solve the problems in our homework set. Set number 1. So let's find the onset consonants of these words. Gold, bread, kite, church, there, shower. First of all, gold. It starts with g sound. G. It's in a velar position. So here, as in G in gall. Gold, gall. So they are same sounds. So the beginning consonant of gold is voiced and also velar. Bread, bread. So B, it starts with B and it falls into this category as B in ball. Kite, it starts with K. It falls in the same category with C in call and velar, voiceless position. Although note that they spell different. Call is spelled with C, kite is spelled with K, but they are starting with same sound, k. Church, ch sound. You can find the same sound here as in ch in chug. They're both spelled with ch. They're voiceless and post-alveolar. There, the. So th sound is a dental sound. It's either th in thin, the in then. So when you pronounce there, you don't say there. So it should be the voiced counterpart of it. So this there, this word there sounds starts with a sound a th in then, which is voiced and dental. Shower, sh. This is sh sound, which is post-alveolar and voiceless. This is how you find the onset consonant in the table of English consonants. Note, always keep in mind that spelling can be tricky. There are two different sounds that spell the same. Sometimes the same sound can be spelled many different ways. Let's move on to finding the coda consonant. Coda means at the end, so find the consonant that ends this word. So at the end of this word, what kind of consonant do we have? Dig, g. So it ends with g, g, like g in gall. So dig, it ends with velar voiced consonant, g. Miss, s. Is it voiceless or voiced? It's voiceless. So it's spelled with two S, but it sounds exactly the same with S in Sue. And bell, L, again it's spelled with double L's, but they sound exactly the same with la sound. Sorry, I did not put that in this table, as in law and L in law. You can see here, voiced. It's voiced, and I didn't put that in the table, sorry. It's also alveolar. So, where is it? L. Okay, L and R. So, bell ends with the L sound over here. Next, the word is rough. It ends with spelling GH, but when you hear it, rough, it ends with the sound F. So no matter how it spells, it ends with this sound F and face, which is voiceless and labial dental. Ch, which is spelled TCH, ch, catch. It's the same sound with ch and chug, so it's voiceless and post-alveolar. And then final word, kittens. Kittens, it's not kittens, so z, this is a voiced consonant. It ends with the sound that is same with z, as in zoo. It's not j, it's not kitten j, it's not j, it's not kitten j. It's not s, it's not voiceless consonant, it's not kitten s, so it's kitten z. So the final consonant of the word kittens is z, which is voiced and alveolar. Okay, when you find two different consonants or a group of consonants, you can find a common feature out of it. And finding a common feature is a very important analytical method you need to know when you move on to phonology section and solve problems. So let's try. What's the common feature of k in kick, g in gear? Kick and gear, k and g. K is here, C is in k in call, and g is as in g in gear. So these two sounds both fall into a velar category. So these two sounds are both velar. That's the common feature of these two sounds. Through and haze. Through, th is voiceless, dental sound, th as in thin. Haze, h is a h in hug, which is a voiceless glottal. So they don't have same place of articulation, but they are two voiceless consonants. So they are both voiceless. Kiss and hard. Kiss sound. It ends with voiceless alveolar sound as in su. And hard the sound is a D sound as in doll. Both sounds fall into the same category of alveolar place of articulation, so these two sounds are both alveolar. Catcher, Asia. Catch, ch sound is a ch, chug. Asia, j. This is not z, this is not jug, this is je and azure, or pleasure, or usual, je sound, which is post-alveolar sound. So the similarity between chuk and azure, they fall both into a same category, post-alveolar. Maize and kid, z is a voiced consonant over here, as in zoo. D, kid, d is a voiced consonant here. So they have two common features. They are both alveolar, they're both voiced. So maize and kid, these two sounds are both alveolar, both voiced consonants. Beads, z, of, v. So beads, although it's spelled s, it's sounds voiced like z. So this is like z in zoo. While f here, although it's spelled f, it actually sounds of, v. So it's like v in vase. So what does v and z have in common? Vase and zoo. They are both voiced consonants. So the common feature between beats and of are voiced. Okay, this is the end of the video. I'll show you the last second pop quiz of this week. What is the common feature of the following two consonants? Badge and sure. Badge, j, and sh, and sure. Thank you for watching. This was the second video of the first session.